everybody. There's a phrase, 5 tiny little words, that surprisingly sparks a lot of debate and some really strong reactions. I honestly never realized how much people either love or absolutely hate it until I got it tattooed on my arm. It's a phrase that has helped me through some of the toughest times, and it's kind of become my mantra. I cannot believe the feelings it brings out in people. Curious to know what it is? Stick around and I'll explain why this seemingly simple phrase is so powerful and so controversial. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. If we haven't met, I'm Rachel. Now, I will get right to it. What is this phrase that elicits so much passion one way or another from people? They either love it and view it as a healthy acceptance of reality, or they think it's an apathetic phrase of someone who's given up. Can you guess? It is what it is. The strong opinions that follow this tiny 5-word phrase absolutely floor me. So what does "it is what it is" actually mean? Simply put, it is a way of acknowledging reality. It's often used when we face situations that are out of our control. It's like saying, this is the way things are, and there's nothing we can do to change it. This phrase has been around for a really long time, and it's used in various contexts, from everyday conversations to major life events. Some see it as just conceding defeat, giving up, or somehow abdicating responsibility. They view it as a form of apathy, a cop-out, or just an excuse to not try harder, just implying a lack of concern or effort. They think it renders someone powerless to change and limits thinking and creativity. Depending on the situation, they see it as pessimistic. Basically, they think that it's what people say when what they really mean is, I just don't care. It's really interesting for me to hear these strong reactions because it really shows how powerful words can be and how they can affect our mindset and our actions. What's interesting is how our perception of this phrase can change based on what we're going through. As far as I'm concerned, it's all semantics, and it's all about perspective. It's fascinating how much meaning we can pack into just a few words. Subtle nuances and personal experience shape how we interpret these words. Personally, I take issue with all the negative thinking. My view is totally different. I'm as far from a defeatist as you can get. I am never ready to accept failure. Never. This phrase took on new meaning during my cancer journey. It's my way of making peace with the challenges life has thrown at me that I absolutely cannot change, and the situation itself. There have been so many moments when I had to accept the reality of things that were completely out of my control, like both my diagnoses and the treatments and the side effects. Saying it is what it is helped me find peace and focus on what I could control, like my diet, my mindset, and the people in my life. It means that I won't allow things that are beyond my control to define me and my life. It helps me accept the things that I can't change. Dr. Wayne Dyer said, change the way you look at things and the things that you look at change. This quote perfectly sums up my perspective on it is what it is. When we change our viewpoint, we find new ways to tackle problems and see opportunities in what seem like obstacles. It's not about giving up. It's about shifting our focus to what we can do and how we can grow from the experience. Like I said, I actually have a tattoo of a hummingbird with the phrase, it is what it is, right here. Now, I'm sure there are a lot of you out there who don't care for tattoos or people with them, and that is perfectly fine, to each his own, but I do not want to hear the judgment on them. I have a few tattoos, all of which came after my cancer diagnosis, and they are incredibly meaningful to me. This one, though, means the most. The hummingbird happens to be my favorite. For me, it symbolizes persistence and resilience, adaptability and joy despite challenges. Hummingbirds are tenacious little buggers, They are small but mighty. They are the only bird that can fly in every direction, even upside down. Whenever I look at this, it reminds me that while I need to accept certain realities, I also have the power to keep moving, to find joy, and to make the best of my circumstances. It's a source of constant motivation for me, and it reminds me to live life to the fullest. There's a song by Uncle Kracker called It Is What It Is. My friend Diane sent it to me a long time ago and said it reminded her of me, even though she hates the phrase, "it is what it is." The song talks about going through tough times and accepting them for what they are, but also about moving forward and finding happiness. The refrain to the song goes, "It is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. It's life and it's love, and it ain't gonna change. It's a beautiful mess I don't want to miss. It sits and it spins, and it is what it is." I mean, this captures the essence of accepting reality while embracing all the complexities of life. It reminds us that while we can't change everything, we can still find joy and meaning in what happens. It perfectly encapsulates the chaos and the unpredictability of life, especially when you're dealing with something as major as a cancer journey or any health scare. Life can be messy and complicated, but there's beauty in that mess. Every moment, even the challenging ones, especially the challenging ones, has its own significance and lessons. Embracing the whole experience without wanting to miss any part of it helps us appreciate the highs and the lows of our journey. Humans have always had this remarkable ability to adapt in response to changing circumstances. This adaptability has only been possible because some people weren't willing to accept the status quo. If we continue to do that, we can ensure that "it is what it is" doesn't become an excuse to accept the unacceptable or the unchangeable, but rather it's a reminder to stay focused on what we can change. For some, including me, "it is what it is" can be a form of acceptance, which is really important for our mental health. Acknowledging reality can help us find peace and move forward. For others, if we use this phrase too often, yes, it can turn into a form of resignation, where maybe we stop trying to improve our situation. And then there is the risk of apathy, where we simply stop caring. Finding a balance is the key. It's important to accept what we can't change, but we do also need to recognize when we can take action. Instead of seeing "it is what it is" as the end, we can view it as the starting point for what comes next. For example, accepting a diagnosis is crucial, but taking steps to improve our health and our well-being is just as important. I tell people all the time, it is what it is, and sometimes what it is sucks, but it becomes what we make it. Let's reframe this phrase in a positive way. Instead of saying "it is what it is" with a sense of defeat, we can say it with acceptance and readiness for action. Telling yourself, "this is the situation, now what can I do," can be incredibly empowering and proactive. Sure, "it is what it is" can be both a helpful acceptance of a reality and a potential trap to defeatism and apathy. It's all about how we use it. I encourage you to think about how you use the phrase in your life. Are you using it to find peace and focus, or is it holding you back from taking action? Like I said, it is what it is, but it becomes what we make it. Thanks so much for watching. What do you think of the phrase? Do you hate it? Love it? Let me know in the comments, because I would really love to hear your thoughts on the topic. I am really curious what camp you fall into, because I have definitely found out that most people fall into a camp on this one. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who might benefit from it. It really does help the channel out, and I would truly appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe for more content on living a happy, healthy life in spite of challenges. I will see you in the next video. In the meantime, take care of you. Bye-bye.